Okay, whenever you're ready to start.
Great. All right. It is 1:35 and I am calling the May 21st meeting of the Akron Tree Commission to order. Roll call.
Viviano, here. Fusco. Lash.
Present.
Wyatt.
Present.
And Bradenberg.
Here.
We have all commission members except for Fusco.
Okay. Has everybody had a chance to look at the minutes from last meeting? And any additions, corrections? Okay, I'll entertain
Move
a
to
motion
adopt.
to approve the minutes.
Motion to adopt.
I'll second. Viviano, aye. Lash.
Aye.
Wyatt.
Aye.
And Bradenberg.
Aye.
The motion to adopt the minutes passes 4-0.
Okay. The first item under unfinished business is brochure updates. When we were handing out the brochures at the council committee meeting last month, I had been told that John Malish was fine with what we had. And however, I still want to have some Akron specific information. And I know it's there. So I will continue this. One of the things I thought about, and I'm just going to put this out there for discussion. In the middle of the brochure is the part that we're asking people for their name and address and phone. And I'm thinking we could replace that with ways that people can help. One is to nominate a heritage tree or a memorial tree. One would be to request a tree and how to do that. I know that one of the things we need to start emphasizing is the importance of people planting trees on their own property. We don't have a campaign around that right this very second, but that needs to happen. So that would be another piece of information for that. So I'm going to reaction, thoughts, discussion. Yeah.
Planting a tree on your own property, do you have to do that on your own, or will the city provide a tree or no?
And that's something we would need to check out. It would be ideal if the city could provide a tree that somebody would plant, but that it could be that someone could buy a tree from the city, especially as we get the nursery on Thice Road up and running. And we'll talk a little bit about that also. But there was another thing. Jeff and I were talking briefly, and we were thinking about starting something like Say Yes to Street Trees, which is really, we would be most effective. That's public property. And maybe we could start educating people instead of complaining when the city says they're going to plant a tree on your front yard or your tree lawn, that they would say yes instead, and we could outline the ways in which that could happen. I can check with, John Hilkert, what would you see as the way we could encourage people to plant trees on their own property?
I know the city of Stowe, they have a program, and I don't know if it's a flat rate price. I can't remember what it is, but they have a program where they've tried to do that and get homeowners to put trees in their own yard, whether it's their front yard or backyard. And I know they have a crew that'll come in and put it in the ground, and then that also includes that water bag that goes with it. and I think they mulch it, and it might be like a year guarantee. And
Okay.
then after that, then, the homeowner's kind of on their own.
Now,
But it's like I think it may be like a flat rate price. I can't remember how much it is, but
Okay.
John, is this a tree of your choice or it's a tree that the city picks? Can you get like, if you want a certain tree, will that be?
yeah, somewhat. They have, because it's in their yard, and you can pick out of that list, and they'll put that tree in that you want out of that list. Now, we don't do that from the Devil Strip or
Right.
from the tree line. We don't do that because of, people pick out the wrong tree for the wrong spot, and then you run into
Right.
problems. So,
I have one more question. I know we talked about it before, the memorial tree, that's only on city property, correct? It's no chance that you can get a memorial tree to plant in a yard of your choice or at your organization or a place of your choice, or it has to be on city property for the memorial tree?
that I don't know 100%. I want to say it does have to be on city property. Because otherwise, you could buy your own tree and put it in your yard, and I guess kind of call it your own memorial tree. But I think that one has to be on city property, either in a park. I know we have a few in parks, or out on the Devil Strip.
Okay.
Majority of them, I think, are in parks, though, that I know of.
Yeah, if I'm remembering correctly, part of the rules per se of a memorial tree is that you can't actually put something on the tree that designates it as a memorial.
Yeah,
Be able to put something in the ground nearby, but
I
not.
think, yeah,
tree.
there's one that I can think of that I know off the top of my head. There's one out in Canyon Trail in the park there. There's I think it's Malvern as you come down Malvern. It's one of those streets that dead end the Canyon Trail. There's a tree right there. I think there's a bench right next to it, and there's it's like a little thing that comes up out of the ground, and there's like a little plaque on it, and it has
Mhm.
somebody's name.
Okay.
So can you do that on a Devil Strip? Get a little plaque by the tree, not on it, but by the tree?
I don't know the ruling on that. I would kind of doubt it, just because, then you have that sticking out in the way of where it can get damaged on a Devil Strip that is maintained, where in a park it's maintained, but at least there it's a little more probably out of the way and is not as likely to get broken or anything. But I don't know that for a fact. But I would guess normally that's probably not something you could do on a Devil Strip, is put a plaque with it. But again, I could be wrong.
I'm curious, because I'm interested myself as a tree member commission. My brother passed away a couple of years ago, but before he did, he had a tree that was on the Devil Strip, which was the city's, but somehow got taken up. And he found out that I was on the tree commission, and he was like, I want another tree on there, but he passed away before that. And so we wanted to get a memorial tree, and I was going to put it back on the Devil Strip in front of the house that he was in, but we have a family member in there now, which would have no problem with it. But I was just wondering how you could memorialize it for that purpose. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I can kind of look around here and see if I can find something that says, I know we have stuff that talks about regulations for a memorial tree and what all. I'll see if I can find it here.
And then you could send it to me, and I'll request it. I'll be the first one, I guess, from the tree commission to try our program out, because I think it's a great idea, and people would love to do that kind of thing. I'm interested myself, and so I would love to do that and just get the details, and then that way we can explain in better content of really what it's about, because people would love to memorialize their lost loved ones. I
can, when I find it, I can send it to everybody.
Great.
Thank you.
Thanks, John. Well, Jeff was supposed to be here to talk about the Tree of the Month program. He's been looking at the city of North Myrtle Beach. And they have, back in the day when real estate signs were metal, they had that kind of metal sign, and it is City of North Myrtle Beach, Tree of the Month. And he and I were talking about a way in which we could get that started. The main questions that we wanted to answer, one was, you know, how do we roll this out? Do we do it by quadrants in the city? You know, I'm thinking to do it by wards. That makes the most sense. And you know, solicit nominations. We would get a press release out and tell folks that we are taking nominations for Tree of the Month. John Malish said that we still do have money in our budget so that we would be able to pay for, and I would like to see fairly durable signs, because then we can keep using them over and over again. And maybe you know, when somebody gets their tree nominated and gets the sign, they also get a little certificate, like Keep Akron Beautiful sends out every summer when they do their streetscape program. But you know, Jeff is the one who, he just sent me a text. Are we meeting today? So he should be here fairly soon. So we'll put that off for a little bit. John Hilkert, you and John and I had talked about the volunteers for the tree inventories. You know, he said he had the iPads. Do you have any sense of how John would like to roll that out?
Not off the top of my head. I don't know. I know he does have several more iPads that have been ordered. I think I'm not sure what the process is there for that, but I mean, as far as you know, it would probably just be like a training session on, and I guess some of it would depend on you know, I guess availability, time wise of when people may or may not be available. But we can, I mean, myself or John, you know, we can show people how to do just the basic things that need done. He needs to get in, he would have to find out first who, as far as names, and set up like what you would call an account in the system that we use. It's called Tree Keeper. It's through Davy Tree. So he would have to set something up in that first with their names on it. And then once he does, you give them certain permissions, and then there's, you know, things that they can do in there, and there's other things that they're not permitted to do.
Okay.
So that would be probably the first step would be finding out, you know, a list of names of people that would be interested. Really, if it was done in probably groups of 2, that would be enough. I find that I have a guy that's been going out with me, and we've been measuring a lot of trees that need to be trimmed for our contract. And normally, and you can actually use it on your cell phone too. There's a way that you can do it. So I just walk down the sidewalk with my cell phone, and he'll measure the tree, and then I can get in Tree Keeper and enter all the information that I need to. And basically, especially if you have people that don't know a lot about the types of trees, you know, and what species it is and all, that's important to have. But the most important thing that I think one of the biggest things that we would be looking for right now is just basically the overall condition of the tree, number 1. Number 2, the size of it. Because that size, we use that, like I said, to, kind of track a little bit. We track the health of the tree. You can kind of tell on how quick it's growing based on the size year to year. But also, like I said, if we're going out and doing trimming, and we send it to a contractor, those all have to be updated. We can't give them, 2 years ago, the size, because the size changes, obviously, and that changes the price. They do it based on, diameter size, is how they price it out. So, those would probably be the biggest things in getting started first.
Okay.
And like I said, it depends. I guess to make it easy, if you had 20 people, if you had, you could put 2 in each ward. And I have a lot of trees that I could pull right now that I know we need sizes for, in certain areas. So, I mean, that's probably where to start first. And then on out past there, it'd be helpful just to have everything updated, unless at some point, if we would get it's the AI, what they use, John was talking about to try to get a grant for that.
Right.
If that would ever go through and we could get a grant for that or get money for it, then you wouldn't need to do all that, but
Right.
until that happens.
So let me ask you this, if we were to put out a press release soliciting volunteers to do this kind of thing with a, very thumbnail sketch of what the duties would be, is that something that you and John would be prepared to undertake fairly soon?
I think so. I mean,
Okay.
from my perspective on it, I would say yes.
Okay.
I don't know his schedule and all. I know he's the one that generally goes in and sets everything up to give permissions to people. And normally it doesn't take long, but I can mention it to him, but as far as me, I mean, we can train people whenever, I mean, I say I could, he could, or, if he says, well, why don't you take out people, here and there, then I can do it.
Okay.
It's not, there's not a whole lot to pick up on. It's not too bad.
Okay. If you could, I'm trying to think how best, because it seems to me that using 311 as a response mechanism for people who are interested in doing this would make the most sense. What do you think?
I would almost say it may be better if there's an email for the tree commission, right?
Mm-hmm.
Email. That might be a better way to do it and just
Okay.
express interest that way. Excuse me, then through 311. When it comes through 311, a lot of times, things sometimes get mixed up on what it should be, what it should go in under. And through 311, we don't have anything that's specific that, kind of, hey, I want to volunteer. So.
Just a second, Jeff's calling me. Okay, Jeff, where are you?
Excuse me, you're not muted if you were intending to be.
Excuse me. Yeah, you called me. You need to get into the Zoom. Okay. Bye. Okay. So we would have interested people email treecommission@akronohio.gov, correct?
That's what I would suggest.
Okay.
I think that would be a lot easier. Rather than try to jump through all the funnels and hoops that they have at 311, to try to get it to the right place, it might be better.
Okay.
Because then it's going directly to the tree commission. And then, once we're ready, you can forward those on to us and we can figure out, other details.
Okay, Sarah Bibiano, do you know where those tree commission emails go?
My understanding is that Maria Wilson in the service director's office and John Malish have access to that email account.
Okay. So Maria, you'd make sure that we got those emails, correct? Are you there? Oh, well.
Yes, I will.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so I think that's something that we can start doing now. All right. And I will come back with a report to the commission next month to see how that went. The outreach to council members, basically I wanted to recap. Francia was there. Patricia was there. Sarah was there as part of her jobs. And Jeff was there. And for myself, I thought the meeting went really well. Feeling at the beginning that they didn't expect the meeting to last very long, and then people started asking questions. And I thought we did really well. I did hear from people afterward who were looking at the meeting, who watched the meeting online. And actually even got an inquiry from IdeaStream Public Media. A woman is interested in following up on the Tree of the Month program. And so, you know, that's not going to happen right this very second, but it will happen. And Francia or Sarah, do you have any other things to add?
I don't have anything. This is you from C. I have nothing. Have nothing to add.
Contacted the advisory council on historic preservation. They are,
I think we're getting some background noise. Okay, it went away. I didn't have anything to add either.
Okay. Jeff, are you there? You're muted.
Might be on another meeting.
Jeff? Okay, well, he's here, even though he's not able to be heard.
to continue the mitigation planning process to really get it going.
Okay, good. So,
There
quick
you are.
question is,
Oh,
you all
Jeff,
had
you're not muted if you're not in.
notified the city at this point, or did you not? I'm sorry.
Yep, the city, so city of Akron.
Jeff? Well, okay. Okay, sorry about that. The last thing on unfinished business is Arbor Day update, and unfortunately, we did not talk about the date at the last meeting, although we did have an Arbor Day. It was at Kerr Park, and we planted an American elm, and I'm glad to see that all of the members of the tree commission were there, and John was there on the working end of it, helping to plant the tree. But one of the things that brought up, because I know years ago, Keep Akron Beautiful used to do the Arbor Day celebrations. And I think over the next year, we need to basically boost that effort so that more people know about it, can attend, all that good kind of stuff. And we'll have pictures to show people. And I appreciate all of you being there. Okay. Anything else anyone else has for the good of Jeff? Are you there now? Well, he's there, but not unmuted. Couple of things under new business. The Tree City USA program went off well. And sadly, once again, they did not have our materials. So I ended up having my picture taken just so we could say that we were there. I would expect if materials are coming, and John Malish would get them. Interesting day. National Football Hall of Fame. A couple of interesting projects. There you are.
Sorry about that. I was trying to log in and my other phone rang, and it was a phone call that was pretty, I had to take it because it was one we were waiting on some answers for. So
Okay.
City business, of course.
All right. Well, let's jump back to the tree of the month. I gave them a brief idea of what we were talking about, but you've been looking into this specifically. So what can you tell us about what you found?
Well, just that there's a couple cities out there that do this, and I think they kind of almost go out and search for these trees. I don't know if there's like an application process. I called and left a message, I haven't gotten back, and it's like smaller towns seems like they're doing this kind of thing that I noticed so far. I still have more research to do, but it seems like just metal signs. And Sarah, we talked a little bit about infrastructure, being able to go out there and do this work. I think if we would identify maybe just 2 or 3 trees, start small and then kind of grow it over time. I think that makes a little bit of sense. There's some out there that have some history, I think, and that are unique and different, like the signal tree, obviously. And I don't even know, that might be something to work with the Metro Parks. Although I believe that there's some work being done down there currently, and I don't know how long that's going to be. But trees like that are recognized, seems like they would be appropriate ones. And like I mentioned before, maybe starting kind of small, not being too, growing too quickly here, but yeah. So that's kind of like where we're at. We would, and in terms of signs and such, there's different ways we could go. We could, try to get something metal. I think I sent that to everybody. Order those, see how much they would cost. I don't even know if we have somebody online that would do that work, that does it for everybody else. But my other phone's ringing yet again. Sorry about that. So that's about the extent of it so far. But yeah, I think it's something, maybe if we just identify 2 or 3 in the city, and and put a sign out front, and then tweet it out, get it on Facebook, get it on, and give the information to the administration. There's a desire there from them, I think, to get the message out. We could also maybe notify some of our friends in the media about this, and just bring that awareness piece out.
Okay. Well, I do know that any social media has to go through
the mayor's office.
Perhaps what we need to. Pardon?
Stephanie Marsh in the mayor's office.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. What we would need to do perhaps, and if this is something you want to keep working on, find out what those signs would cost.
Okay.
And I'm sure it's the same with all, like yard signs. It's how many colors, the size of it, all that kind of stuff. If you want to keep working on that, seems to be your project.
Yeah, happy to do so. Yeah, it seems as though the one city I noticed was, it's a smaller city, really not a good comparison, but it seemed as though the actual commission itself, they're the ones who would, plant the sign, put the sign down, describe the tree itself. And, and then a couple months later, they would do another one. So, and I know we have a problem, not a problem, I shouldn't say it that way, but we're short-staffed in many of our departments. So it seems as though that piece of the equation, at least initially would be up to us, the commission itself, to go out and put the signs out, to maybe what I'd seen, they had taken pictures of the commission in front of the tree and had a little description of the tree itself and why it's, significant and important. And that's about the extent of it
Okay.
so far.
Okay, so we would need basically cost estimate on signs, a design, although it could be really simple,
Yeah, nothing.
City of Akron, Tree Commission logo, Tree City USA logo, tree of the month. I think that's pretty easy. I will get with Stephanie and find out what all she needs from us and start getting the word out on that. Okay, and under new business, I put in Project Acorn. I know that we have had Jessica Glazewski with us before. Project Acorn is her successful grant application for basically it would be a training program for at-risk youth in 5 different neighborhoods in the city. And it would be Summit Lake, Sherbondi Hill, East Akron, South Akron, and there's the 5th one I always miss out on. And I know it as well as I know my own name. But anyway, there were 5 at-risk or 5 underserved neighborhoods that it will start working on. I've asked her to appear before us next month so that she can explain in more detail what is involved and specifically how the Tree Commission can help her efforts. This is exactly the kind of thing that we need to be involved in. We need to do whatever we can to smooth the way for her and her project. And the upside of that is then this helps establish the nursery, the tree nursery on Thice Road, which will in a few years enable the city to grow and plant its own trees rather than being at the mercy of contractors and supply costs. So we will hear from her on next month. And also just letting you know, actually Patricia made me aware of a reporter for an online news site called Good Place Akron, is asking questions about the Tree Commission. And they will be John Malish and Casey Shevlin, and I believe her name's Sophia Franke of Good Place Akron will be having an interview on Friday. I will not be able to be there, but I have submitted basically the questions that she asked about the Tree Commission. So if anybody wants to be part of that, I might call Casey and see if that's something that you want to be part of. Otherwise, I'm just letting you know that's happened. And I believe got something in my notes I can't read. Oh, trees for target areas. Yeah, that was the same thing. The Project Acorn program. So, does anybody else have anything for the good of the order?
Just that after we had spoken, I had also spoken to Jesse on the Acorn project. And it seems like a lot of that's going to be the public outreach and the public piece of it. And I'd offered, of course, after we had spoken, President Vredenberg, that we would, stand ready to assist whatever way we can, and have some thoughts already about some organizations, have some thoughts about, how to reach out, and who we could include and what that looks like. And I'm certain, I don't want to speak for council. I learned a long time ago not to do that, but I have to believe that our colleagues on city council would be enthusiastic about it, supporting this as well. Of course, we already know about it and we're aware, but in terms of the extent of our participation, but we can. I think our role could be to be that kind of bridge, perhaps between the city and the community. And so told her we're ready to go, and so and they can focus on what they need to focus on. So looking forward to it.
Okay. Okay. Anything else? Okay, it is 2:12 and I officially adjourn this meeting of the Akron City Tree Commission. Thank you all for being here. It's finally good to be getting to work. So we'll more to come.
Thank you. Apologize for my
Thank you.
tardiness. Thank you.
Thank you. Take care.
Yeah.